Jack, I talk to people who tell me what ADHD is, and they either have like this really like insignificant definition of it. Well, I have trouble paying attention to boring things, so I have attention deficit disorder. Or they tell me that attention deficit disorder is the reason why they have an anxiety disorder or an explosive disorder. How do you differentiate between like what is in range for ADHD and what is outside of the range of ADHD?
Well, I think just in the culture we live in, it's so fast paced. It's like fast food culture, right? Drive through. I mean, everything's this and that. So I understand how most people might be, their brain might be going everywhere at once, just because that's kind of the culture we live in. So, you know, obviously we did a video not too long ago about psychological testing, and that's one good way to find out if you have a child or a teenager or something that might be struggling with this. Instead of just giving your own definition, maybe take them in for some testing and see what it is, because a lot of times it might just be cultural, kind of environmental things.
I talk to people who tell me that attention deficit disorder is not a discipline that a person can develop. It's something wrong with you. I'm a doctor. I've studied it, and here it is. Sometimes it's a discipline that you can develop in yourself. Give yourself a little bit more credit than that. Sometimes it isn't. We design these videos to be 3-minute videos because we expect that culturally you've been trained to switch to the next video after about 3 minutes. And so is it, if a disorder could be described as a different disorder better, then that's the proper diagnostic process. So a lot of times we blame attention deficit disorder for you know, the people being verbally abusive. It's not in the diagnostic criteria. A lot of times we blame attention deficit disorder for people being bored. What Jack was saying about testing is actually pretty solid. And then also being aware that you don't have to be a certain picture of a doomed person because of this disorder.
Yeah, I think about maybe a kid who grew up in Arkansas, and he's outside playing in the creek like this all the time, and he's always outside and doing stuff. And then you shove him in the classroom and say, sit down and be still for 8 hours. If he can, is that ADHD, or is that because he's running around all the time and that's just really difficult for him to do? A lot of times we really need to look at the broad spectrum of what's really going on, so we don't just, you know, say that somebody has this particular disorder when maybe it could be something different.
A lot of times parents see their kids uncomfortable, they seem bored, they're misbehaving, they're doing things, and then they start thinking about what other people are thinking about them as parents because their kid's struggling to pay attention. I struggle to pay. I'm not like, this video is already causing me to be bouncy. Don't give up on the fact that you can learn to do things that are not always easy or fun, like sitting through a sermon, sitting through a class, or doing a task. Focus and build it up. A lot of these things are muscles. And I guess while I got you and this video is almost over, don't blame like being a jerk on the disorder. That's not part of the diagnostic criteria. Well, I call people names sometimes, so I become overwhelmed.
ADHD flares up a little bit.
I've read the DSM, it's not in there. Those are behaviors that you can train, that you can hone, that you can practice how you talk to people. I don't know, there's lots of things. ADHD is a big one. It's a buzzword right now. We're seeing a lot of it, and we help people every day learn to navigate it. And if that's something you're going through, we'd love to help.